Well, let's see. I'm at level 33, but I could probably go to a level 35 plus zone. But doesn't that mean
no, that's a terrible idea.
No?
We've tried that in the past. You guys never catch up to the appropriate level.
Let's see what we have here.
Okay, so we have Lornar's Pass, which is like mountains. We've got mountains and snow again. We've got kind of like a watery, temperate zone. And we've got more of where we currently are. Those are our three options.
Wait, where's the watery temperate zone?
That's over by Divinity's Reach, just north of Lion's Arc, Gandharan Fields.
Did I choose the worst place to log out, or what?
Did you log out in a spot where there were enemies?
Oh, there's an event happening where the town I logged out and it goes under attack.
Yes, I hate it when that happens.
I was like, why am I under attack in my spawn point?
Okay, yeah, there's Gandharan Fields. I mean, but that's only going to be good for 2 levels. That's why I was...
no, I mean, it's good forever if we finish it.
Oh, I know. I was just wondering if maybe we want to go to the Fields of Ruin and face destroyers.
Yeah, let's go Field of Ruin. There aren't actually destroyers there.
Oh, then why does it give you a destroyer sliver at the end?
It just does. Okay, so we're gonna have to go through a bit of a trip to get here, though.
Well, don't we just go through Divinity's Reach?
Yeah, we've never been there. Alright, so we all want to go to the Eastern Ward in Lion's Arc, and we're gonna have to teleport there.
Wait, why in Lion's Arc?
Because none of us have been to Divinity's Reach. Okay, I should probably record this.
I'm pretty sure I've been to Divinity's Reach. No, I haven't been to Divinity's Reach, actually. But it's really easy to get there. All you have to do is go through one portal and then another portal.
Yeah, but, like, Keith hasn't. He doesn't know where we're going, so I kind of have to explain it.
But he's been to Lion's Arc.
Yeah,
he knows about the hub portals.
You were expecting him to understand way too much. You've been playing with me too much. Now you're doing what I do.
No. Okay. Well, first off, where are you guys? Are you guys in a different instance?
I'm in Lion's Arc. I'm waiting for you guys.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna be in Lion's Arc.
I had to escape combat so I could travel.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just loading in and getting murdered. But yeah, the 999 series constantly gets dislikes because they don't like that we criticize the game and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like the most engagement I've ever had on any game that is largely about reading dialogue and story happening. Like if you look at all the CRPGs or just this is the first actual visual novel, but I've played like 20 games that are kind of visual novels where you're pressing A to continue through dialogue for a very long time, but then eventually RPG combat breaks out or something like that, or Pyre or something. So out of all the different games that are comparable, this one has like the most engagement by far, and like it's doing great, and it's continually one of my top shows, even though it's like 40 episodes in. It's like, well, now turns out in reality, despite the huge spike of dislikes and comments, the complaining,
people like this.
Most people actually like this more, apparently.
Well, isn't it just proportionate that the more views and likes on a video, the more people that would be willing to dislike or
sort of, but like there are definitely like, well, so the more negative you are or critical you are of a game, just baseline, you're going to get more dislikes, even if you're completely correct.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it always works. People cannot handle.
I'm not even going to claim that I have like some sort of 100% accuracy rate thing, but yeah, this is why tons of YouTubers are like pretend positive all the time. Because if you pretend to be super positive about everything all the time, even the stuff you don't like, and just pretend everything's great all the time, then you're never controversial. In fact, people will literally like look at my negative opinions on anything and they'll be like, well, you should be like this guy on the internet. He's got 1 million, billion, trillion subscribers and all he ever does is smile and talk in a high voice and be happy all the time. And I'm like, I hate looking and listening to this person. They make me mad. Shit, I don't even know them. So no, I'm not going to be that person. Which portal were we using?
We're using the one that we're standing near.
Yep.
Yep, because this is the one that goes to the human city.
Like for me, Red Letter Media's Nerd Crew parody podcast, like I'm the target demographic of that. Because it's so cathartic to see that mocked. The like, I'm basically a part of the PR arm of this company. That's my forced positivity. Star Wars.
Have you ever remember the?
No, what about Star Wars?
Have you seen those yet, Wander?
Which ones?
The
Sorry?
Nerd Crew?
No, like the media I consume is few and far between. And I actually was surprised
Can you
to
stop
see
running for a moment?
that there were other Plinkett videos.
So Red Letter Media set up a thing.
Oh, you didn't load in properly.
Red
That's
Letter-
why you were in weird armor.
Red Letter Media set up a thing where they do like a fake podcast where they pretend to be one of those podcasts that's way too positive, and like they have like a video set that's completely like drowned in like nerd culture merch, and they're all wearing shirts, and they're all super positive and doing trailer analysis of something that won't come out for a year and stuff like that. They somehow managed to podcast ironically, which I didn't think was a concept that could happen, but they found a way.
Oh, is Keith just taking a little bit while?
He might be in a different instance.
A different instance.
Yeah, here. Just right-click on him and join him.
Okay.
Am I in a different instance? Oh.
Yeah.
I went up to do the Vista because I saw it. I was like, sure, why not?
Getting Vista's a good. Yeah, that's the thing. This is a pretty extensive city, and there's a lot of stuff to grab in it if you want to complete the Divinity Reach zone.
I see Wonder.
Yeah. Okay. So we're here. So if you press M to the east of us is an Asura gate on the map. We have to get there. I don't know how to get there. It's been a
in
while.
Rurikton.
Yeah, it's over here.
There are these watery portals that take you downstairs. Like, see the elevators?
It gives you liquid karma.
Yep. For Turbo Buddhism.
Turbo Buddhism.
Oh yeah. You want to go? You want to go to
the karma
Nirvana?
directly into your veins.
Yeah, right into your eyeballs.
Ew.
Like it's like Prey, but with more Dharma.
Chat's asking when merch is coming. I don't have merchandisable mottos or anything.
I mean, you could always just get a shirt with that dumb face I gave you.
Yeah, like the one thing I could do is basically like figure out some sort of deal with Wander about like licensing like a weird shirt
if you want
of
to
the art
license,
he made.
If you want to just license, use that art, I don't mind that much.
We have a ton of
Grave of
Man merchandise that I want to make like prints and buttons and fun stuff out of.
What you could do is you could always just like go out, find a good take a really good picture of some columnar jointing and just sell that on a shirt.
That would be an expensive trip.
Hey,
all the
people already
good
waiting
spots
for
are
us.
not easy to get to, and also extensively photographed already.
True, but then you wouldn't have to worry about the copyright.
But what about vectors?
I mean, true.
You could just vector columnar jointing, and then it's every game ever. I am still slowly working on like a really just pointless collection of screenshots of movies, shows, and video games I encounter with columnar jointing in them.
I feel like when you're done with that, you should just have like a long, sad-sounding video just showing off every
in the
columnar jointing.
arms of an angel.
Now, this is an odd question. I mean, what is columnar jointing?
It's those like hexagonal.
Didn't I explain this when I made the guild
pillars
in this game?
You explained this to Bird and I a couple days ago, but you never.
I didn't re-explain it in this playthrough when I made the guild.
No,
named it.
You never did. People just always accept that you are columnar jointing man, and that it's apparently a thing.
As part of our truce,
okay, so what is it?
the legions have moved back.
Is it a type of rock?
Do you know what mud cracks are?
Yeah.
Where it's like you just have these weirdly like hexagonal looking like mostly equal shaped cracks in the mud as it dries. Like that that happens because when the mud dries, it constricts. Like it's more it's larger when it's wet and it shrinks when it's dry. And so it's all fused as one solid piece, but it's getting shorter, it's getting smaller, so it has to somehow maintain the same area.
You guys wanna... Let's see if we can run over to that Bloodstone Beast.
Well, what about this lady? She needs to be...
Shell, event?
Where is the beast?
This is an event.
It's over on the right.
This lady's an event too.
Okay.
Come with me.
I'm gonna see if I can get over to the Bloodstone
we don't even know where the Bloodstone Beast is.
Oof, that is distance. I'll see if I can make it.
Wait, is it inside the city?
No, the escort is bringing you up north. She was just going to her waypoint because she breaks weird.
Wait, so are we sticking with her or are we going to the beast?
I'm heading for the beast. It gives way better shit.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can do what you want. You have self-determination.
I'll protect the fair lady, I guess. Because now there's more people dressed as yelling.
They need all the help they can get against the ogres.
Oh, wait, this is a level 34 mission. I'll be fine, or in horrible danger. What's the level range of the zone?
30 to 40.
Oh. Wait, I thought we were specifically not doing zones that were too high.
I mean, you're 33, so as long as we keep to the southern section, you're fine. If you run all the way to the north, less fine.
Oh.
I thought that this was a good zone because it was in the middle.
Yeah. If you actually gather materials as you go by them, it should be decent.
Actually, there was a heart for the entire city as well.
Yeah.
There we go. So mud cracks form because when it's drying, it constricts, and then it ends up cracking in geometric patterns because that's just the equidistant stress location between all the different directions it's pulling in at once. So it ends up fracturing in a really even pace. And columnar jointing is actually the same idea, but for magma. You'll have a big pool. You'll have a big pool of lava sitting there, and then as it solidifies, it'll be constricting, and so it'll end up cracking in these like perfect shapes where it's really consistent.
Is that how you get basalt? Because I love it.
Basalt is the most common form of magma, period, and it's not. Columnar jointing is a way that something solidifies. Basalt is just a chemical composition of a rock.
Okay, because they just make beautiful hexagonal columns.
Yeah, but that doesn't have anything to do with it being basalt.
Okay.
So columns are often made of basalt because most magma most volcanic rock is often basalt constantly. Almost the entire ocean floor is basalt. But
whoa, this is a huge
it doesn't have to
scorpion.
form columns at all. And so when we get the vertical columns that you see, that stuff's you get that because it has to form in a pool, then it has to erode away over time. Otherwise, you'd only see it from the top, and it would just look like cracks, as opposed to those big vertical columns that form naturally. And are now, the reason I keep bringing it up is because it shows up in every single video game now.
Like I mean, it's like kind of realistic fantasy looking stuff. Because what does that? Not much.
Yeah, we talked about it a few times where like it looks fantastical, but it happens in real life, so there's a real life inspiration for it, and it's also very easy to model because it's just hexagonal shapes, so it's easy. It's an easy thing to put in your video game. So between all those things, at some point someone just got the memo and put it in every game.
It's like bioluminescent mushrooms and fireflies and fun stuff.
The first time I really explicitly noticed it was in Dragon Age Inquisition, because the Storm Coast is like explicitly named. It's explicitly based on that one coastline in Ireland that's just covered in the basalt columns.
Yep.
But before long, I started noticing it in another game like every 2 weeks for years now.
One of my earliest experiences seeing it was actually in Myst 3.
Thought that when Queen Jenna offered the Claw of Con
There's an age that has that everywhere.
That they would be willing to talk about peace. Progress is being made at the summit.
Oh, hey, we got it.
Still problems.
Bloodstone Harvest.
The delegation of the legions and the forces of Divinity's Reach and Ebonhawk could use some support.
Did you finish your escort quest, Keith, or are you still going?
Nope, it's still going.
Wow. Well, I guess we might as well teleport over and run north and help him.
Okay.
So how are we gonna... I guess we're not completing this zone.
We can, potentially.
But we'll be too low level.
We'll see. It kind of varies. So
I'm already at level 34.
I've noticed experience varies very, very distinctly based on where you are. Dieso Plateau kind of sucked because there were a lot of hearts that involved specifically doing nothing. You know, it was like feed the cows or run the cow race or like you know, be nice to cows. I may have a long memory for dumb shit. Anyway,
Wonder has a somewhat biased memory of what was happening that day.
That's like the last half hour was just nothing but cows, and it was annoying. But so this area is much more combat focused for the most part, and so you get a lot more EXP. And the events tend to be a lot faster too.
It's too bad golden moas aren't tameable as far as I remember.
No, I think you can get most of the moas.
Yeah, but I don't believe you can get golden moas.
Are you specifically on a mission to collect every moa?
Nah.
No, I mean, she's just on a mission to collect moa.
I currently have the black moa with the spikes, but I think there's also red, blue, green. Except the red one might be called Crimson. Actually, where is he? Oh, I completely passed you. Okay. Going back. I was just following the road. But you guys went off track.
So easy to do.
Oh, but I see you in the distance.
Oh crap, there's like multiple... There's kind of multiple events nearby?
Yeah, because there's
giant wasps and such?
Yeah. I was gonna run over and help that because it looks like it's kicking whomever's ass.
Friend or foe?
Oh yeah, it's like two poor people fighting this.
Camp. We should be safe now.
None of them forgot the cardinal rule of pick people up. It gets so much easier. I was playing some of the endgame content and it is magic. Seeing just how different this game is on like maximum level. It's just like, nope, we don't have time to pick you up. Run back. You lazy sods. And people are like actually mad about it. And it's like, nope, we like literally can't pick you up. We have to keep running. Everything's on fire.
Everything's on fire. Yeah, I'm trying to imagine like doing like if in Molten Core you had to like manually pick people up by slowly crouching by them when like there's constant danger zones happening and stuff.
Well, that's more or less what it was, sort of. So there were constant enemies spawning, so you had to run in a circular fashion around the map, in like clockwise. Though that doesn't really matter. But you had to kill these healers before they'd spawn because they'd respawn shields on the mini boss. And if too many shields respawned, the mini-boss would go back up to full health and you'd have to reset the entire thing. And so it felt like I was playing a raid with just like 100 random people I'd never met before, which is fascinating. Ow.
Another big wasp.
Hey, she has arrived. Okay, now the wasp problem.
You're down?
Yeah. I'm not invincible. I barely even understand this character. So, like, normally with Guild Wars, you have like your weapons and you have your abilities, and you can kind of mix and match your abilities. But all of my abilities are tied to like specific people, so I only have like certain abilities per like important person. So I've got like the dwarf abilities, the demon abilities, the centaur abilities and stuff like that, and you can only equip them as a set, so it gets really confusing to me at least, because it's just like, oh, I have a new set to mess around with, let's see what it does.
Barely any customization with weapons.
I don't think I understood any of that.
Yeah.
What it was is like you're essentially like a ritualist, except instead of summoning spirits, you're actually becoming like the Shaman King and shoving a spirit. You don't.
Yeah, I guess it more or less is Shaman King, and it's like, okay, so my spirit's gonna be the dwarf now, and he's got very specific abilities.
Yeah, and you can switch between two spirits freely, but they have a set healing and 7, 8, 9 elite abilities. Like you can't customize them.
So many bags.
Isn't the next expansion coming out soon? Way too soon for us to probably finish.
Yeah, it's coming out in 2 weeks.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I had a minor heart attack because I thought that Destiny came out like today.
Well, it did,
but
just not
like
for
not
us.
on PC.
No. I would be bugging you about it if if it had come out. But no. We got some time. We don't have to worry about it.
Like, how are we gonna... I'm like, freaked out. I'm like, how are we gonna juggle this, and Destiny, and Divinity?
Yeah.
Play them different days of the week.
Well, I mean, you could always dedicate one of your actual slots to a multiplayer thing for once.
Greetings.
I mean, my plan is to dedicate that to Divinity.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of expecting.
The issue is that I'll just be in the middle of shit that isn't done.
Now,
and in order to dedicate a slot to one of those games, I'd have to cancel those games.
Well, did you have? Oh wait, no, but you started Mario and Rabbids today to fill the slot for Pyre. That's a good game, by the way.
Yep.
I beat it 2 nights ago, and through, it was just consistently a really satisfying experience.
We have human delegation. There's another heart over here. I suppose I'll do the heart that's close to where you guys are.
Yeah, I'm just beating up wasps.
I gained a level because I apparently had a tome of experience.
Yeah, you can get tomes of experience.
You get them from logging in. Just use them. I have 1 billion. I wish they were tradable to friends or something, because like I have, I think, 7 tomes of experience at this point, and I can only use them on one character. This one.
Wait, there's a suspicious rat here?
Yeah. No, this entire area is filled with, like,
it's trained
rat
for
spies.
reconnaissance?
Yeah. Yeah, there's rat spies everywhere.
What do you do to them?
Nothing, as far as I can tell. You might be able to deal with them, but...
I'm just imagining them training their rats to somehow communicate stuff back to them. I don't understand.
Just ran past another NPC voiced by, what's his face?
Mercer.
Yeah, Matt Mercer. He is everywhere. I found a random NPC that's voiced by him in, Persona 5. And I was like, no! Stop! You're already in my party! I don't need more of you.
On the rat subject, I mean, this is the world where there's sentient rat people.
Yeah, it's true. Hey, by the way, Keith, is your gear starting to get outdated?
I don't know how to tell, and
it's based on level.
I'm generally just desperately sprinting around and trying to keep up with what's going on, and then sometimes I click on stuff that has green numbers on them.
Yep. So
and then everyone yells at me because I'm like trying to navigate it via the inventory bags, but you're supposed to change your gear via your hero screen, where it just shows it by category.
Both are acceptable, but the heart, that big golden heart, sells up-to-date gear for the level. So like that guy sells level 35 armor, I think boots and gloves. I'm not entirely sure, but it's a good way of keeping your gear up to date without spending money, because it's karma.
Isn't karma also just money?
It's another form of currency.
Yeah, except for like you. So the thing is, you can't profit from karma in this game. Karma is purely for buying from like stuff like that. There are like things that you use karma for later, but you can't generally convert it into something that you make cash from. And so,
I mean, were you planning on making money off this game? Besides the videos,
no, I mean like in-game gold, because eventually you're going to need a whole lot of in-game gold for better items and stuff like that, which you probably
just get them from
mostly
drops?
don't care about. It's hard to get the really good shit. You know, it's the standard MMO thing. Like if you want to get the really nice stuff, you have to.
Was that you?
I'm used to the WoW experience, which is where money's basically useless.
No, money in this game, the economy in this game is actually really strong and totally worth something.
Like in WoW, you can use it to buy a bunch of like twink gear to make your like characters better while you're leveling them, and you can use it to buy bags and like gem slots and stuff like that. But then once you hit max level, you're only really using it for repairs and for buying like consumables that give you buffs over time, because all of the actual gear is bind on pickup drops from bosses.
No, stuff is actually like very useful here.
Or at least that's before somebody corrects me. That's my experience based on Burning Crusade raiding from like many years ago now.
There is kind of that experience. You can farm for dungeon exotics, but you're better off just making the money and then selling it. This past weekend I was playing because I was just kind of catatonic, and I think it cost me 40 gold to gear out 2 characters, with most of like their best in slot stuff. There is like higher best in slot, but it's more work than it's worth 90% of the time. But yeah, money is very much worth in this game. You can't just like run a dungeon and get more or less best in slot. You actually would either have to farm the dungeon or go to fractals, which I've never actually bothered with because I don't know.
Fractals?
I don't know how to do fractals.
Fractals.
Yeah, so fractals are mini dungeons. You run 5 of them, and after 5 you get like a specific reward.
I'm like mathematically derived vector work.
It's
they mix it up like.
Yes.
You never have the same exact dungeon.
So like a dungeon might take you about an hour. A fractal generally takes 10 to 20 minutes, give or take.
It sounds kind of like when Diablo 3 added its like quest or adventure mode or whatever, where instead of playing through the actual campaign, you would do like weird micro missions where just throwing a random location against random enemies to do a random objective or something.
Kind of, yeah. They're fun though, and some of them are really cool. Like there's one where you're literally just climbing this like statue and fighting your way up, and it's like a really nice visual thing.
It's taking me ages to complete this heart. Like I found some separatists, but
it looks like level 40 is the unlock point for the next personal chapter. So that might as well be when we do the that might as well be when we do the next thing.
Oh, you're level 47. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Jesus.
I cooked. I just crafted.
Holy crap.
You're not supposed to do that.
I just crafted some food. Using stuff I had on hand at the end of the last session, or was it the session before? It is mad easy to level in this game if you're not playing it normally.
I haven't looked for the crafting menu yet, to be honest.
You have to go into town to do it. Or actually here, there are crafting places near the portal we came in. Just keep gathering logs and mining and everything. Like anytime you can gather from a spot, just gather. It gives you EXP anyway.
Oh, start the session with being level 33 and I'm already level 35.
Yeah. This place is faster from
it's because of the experience tome. It still feels novel to suddenly have such a higher level so fast. We're like not even half an hour in.
Kill separatists, rally the soldiers, and train with the troops.
But yeah, if you want to gain 10 levels, maxing out any crafting discipline usually isn't that expensive either. I guess it depends on the crafting discipline.
It's really easy to get jewelry.
At that point, can you just dump that crafting menu, that crafting thing, and just pick up another one immediately and then hit max level again?
No, you can hit max level by maxing every single crafting discipline. You don't actually ever have to pick
disciplines, or can you just get all of them?
You can have 2 at a time.
You only have so many active.
And it costs you a small fee to switch back to a crafting discipline. But yeah, you could just repeatedly dump them, pick a new one, and move on. And
so if you go back to the old one, you have the same experience?
I think so.
Yeah, it doesn't go away. It just...
You can also buy more licenses to use more.
Yes. But not really worth it.
Oh, well, so it's another free-to-play system.
I'm so alcoholic-y though. I already have enough people to learn each of them.
Yeah, I've got 4 maxed out cooks because cooking is so cheap to level.
I've never leveled cooking.
It is actually probably the hardest to level because you have to look up like
you have to
the
look up a
hell are the
guide for
recipes.
it because there's just too many combinations of things. Whereas jewelry making is very straightforward. Because with jewelry making, it's like I'm working in copper, now I'm working in silver, now I'm working in gold, now I'm working in platinum. And then each of them have a set number of stones that you can use with them.
How'd you get up to that vista? Did you, like, go around on the western side, or... I don't even know who got up to this Vista. Oh.
Which one?
It's actually a lot easier. Never mind,
that
found
one?
it.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
There was just a straight up ledge that led to it.
Oh. I guess I'm just climbing the hill. Originally, they said they might add, like, actual climbing, like you could climb trees in this game. And they were announcing that well before the game came out. I was so excited for that, and then they didn't do it, and I was sad. I want an MMO that just plays like Breath of the Wild. I just want to play Breath of the Wild with people.
Isn't that what EverQuest Next was gonna go for?
Yeah, and then
isn't that kind of what Dragon's Dogma Online is?
I have no idea, actually.
People have been telling us that we should look into that game.
But it's not in the US.
No, you have to do the same stuff you do with the Phantasy Star or whatever number that they're on, where you basically have to, like,
experience.
You have to, like, fan patch it so that's translated.
I was starting Dauntless. A lot of people are like, "You should play Monster Hunter Online." I'm like, that sounds like a giant pain in the ass.
I think for Phantasy Star, whatever number, you have to, like... I think for that one you have to use, like, a VPN to play it.
Yeah.
But I think for Dragon's Dogma, you just need to use... I don't remember if you have to, like, use a Japanese address or something, or... I don't know what was involved, but it's supposedly it's easier than the other MMOs to get into as an American. Or non-Japanese person. But yeah, Dragon's Dogma seemed like it'd be fun in multiplayer. And that's a whole weird thing. It's so weird that game is not westernized, because it's, like, explicitly... It's so explicitly, like, their super Western influenced Capcom property. It's like, we're gonna make, like, a Western fantasy RPG, and then we're gonna make an MMO sequel to it, and it's gonna only be in Japan. What? It's like if Dark Souls never came to English-speaking countries. I'm like, but isn't that the target demo? I don't remember Japan being super into those demographics usually. Those games usually do less well over there.
I'm actually kind of curious about that.
Like, I get Phantasy Star not coming to us more than I get Dragon's Dogma not having its MMO come here. And it's been like over 2 years now, I think. They even brought out a remake of Dragon's Dogma to PC like a year and a half ago. But their MMO isn't worth bringing here for some reason.
That was a decent game, but man, could I not get into the, like, quest setup. It just kind of felt like a slog every time I had to do anything other than plot stuff. I guess I just have trouble with, like, westernized long RPGs, because there's so many side objectives that I just have no interest in.
Yeah. Dragon's Dogma was pretty short.
Felt like you were playing it forever, though. Like... I stopped playing it, you kept going for like 2 months.
Yeah. There's also an expansion to it, but also there's just a thing where, like, you generally expect playthroughs to be shorter because you would, like, for a lot of games you kind of binge through them in like a week.
True.
And then they just come out gradually, whereas I'm often kind of neck and neck more with my release schedule.
Yeah, I've got about a month's content worth of Mario and Rabbids now because I just played it.
You beat it before I even started playing it, I think.
It is actually super handy, though, because...
Now, one of you I see all the way up northwest. And
yeah, I'd be down for actually meeting up. The Murder Horde is kind of lighter the higher we get up in levels, so...
But I just checked, with the expansion and everything, my Dragon's Dogma series was 57 episodes.
Okay, that's not so bad.
And a decent chunk of that's the expansion.
Ultimately, that game would have been so much better if the supporting characters were just other people.
Yeah, they have a whole pawn system where you bring in, like, basically, like, character creator characters as all your co-op friends, and I'm like, you know, there's a reason why your party members are, like, characters in most games, is because there's people to go on the adventure with, as opposed to some random faceless pawns that kind of shout the same thing over and over again. And it's like, you can bring in your friends' pawns from their games, and it's like, cool, another basically identical character as far as actual delivery of lines and behavior goes. but this one has a sword and shield, and that one has a staff, and they use different. Like that was the only difference between them, was that they would be different schools of characterness, but not. They still weren't people.
Okay, so you guys want to actually head my direction? There is there's apparently a substantial jumping puzzle in this general area.
Oh, okay.
That my fans have found and would really like us to go to.
Well, I'll do this village and then I'll come down south.
Eric did what? Oh.
Raptors are mean.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they like to stun, don't they?
Yep. Yeah, so just head to the west.
So Guild Wars has updated itself with the idea that raptors had feathers.
Yep. I think they always did, actually.
Didn't they have feathers back in Eye of the North?
No, I just mean, like, because people stubbornly try to ignore that idea. Like, but that's not as cool, so no, I'm not going to pay attention to that.
I think we get raptor mounts later that are...
They're completely scaly, though.
Yeah, that do not have feathers, so it's kind of inconsistent.
Ooh, this is the brand.
Yeah. I actually really wish there was a whole area that was brands that, like, 100% brands as opposed to, like, half brand, half, like, weird...
I suppose we should explain to Keith a little bit of the lore.
Do we? Does it matter?
I mean, you want to know why there's weird purple glowy corrupted things? So, essentially, I mean, we'll learn more about the Elder Dragons later, but there are 6 of them, and they feed off of types of magic and whatnot, and they've been asleep for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And suddenly, they're all starting to wake up, and the one that's been particularly causing a lot of trouble in the first campaign that we're going to go through is Zaitan, and he's the dragon of the undead, so that's why we've been fighting a lot of undead in the early zones. But there are also other dragons, and they corrupt other creatures with their magic. I don't know if it's like zombies or something where they get them in their grasp and then turn them forcibly. But in this particular area, we're facing all these purple creatures that seem to have like crystals, and it's, I think Zaitan is like a crystal dragon.
Oh.
Not Zaitan, sorry, Kralkatoric.
Did you guys just get the pop-up for their few players remaining on this map?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, say yes.
Yeah, we should probably say yes. We might have to group up with people, but it gives us an EXP boost.
Okay.
Which is something that we'd probably want.
I don't think it makes you group up with people. It's just saying that this instance is running low on people, so it's trying to condense instances together.
Yeah.
But now the event's probably not going to be
Yeah,
there
it's
anymore.
not there, but that's okay. It was a dumb event anyway, because it wasn't attached to a heart, and it was really long.
Okay. Yep, so Kralkatoric has the weird purple magic and the brand. And then there's Primordius, who made his first appearance in Eye of the North, right? And he was like the lava dragon.
Yeah, Primordius was the villain, the ultimate villain of Guild Wars 1. He was the last one.
Yes, and he has like magma and lava and fire and whatnot. Then there's well, Mordremoth is going to be the one for the next expansion, which is the Heart of Thorns one, and he's associated with the forest and plants, and specifically the Sylvari.
I invited him. Okay, cool. So I just invited a fan, Tommykon. He is standing at the entrance of the jumping puzzle, so we want to head there.
And then there's Jormog, and we've heard a little bit about him from the Svanir that are following him. He's the ice dragon. And the only dragon that doesn't have a name is
Bubbles.
Bubbles. Well, at least people have nicknamed him Bubbles, the ocean, like, oceanic sea dragon.
Which a lot of people are starting to doubt will ever actually exist because...
People don't like underwater combat.
Well, yeah, ArenaNet seems to be trying to distance themselves really hard from the underwater combat system. So I'm guessing before they bring him back, they're
gonna have to
rework
completely revamp the underwater system.
Yeah.
Why don't you just have it that everyone has submarines and just watch the whole expansion be submarine battles?
I mean, I'd actually prefer it if it was just like
Could you imagine that? A submarine expansion for an MMO?
I prefer it if it just behaved like Borderlands the pre-sequel, where you just had like floaty jumps underwater. That was it.
Just underwater floaty jumps.
Oh, hey, we've got a guild challenge here.
I mean, there were essentially expansions to like Old Republic that were all about flying ships around and stuff like that.
Do you want to do the guild challenge?
I don't know if I can start it, actually. It says an officer needs to interact with it, and I'm the leader, so I think it's busted.
Yeah, it's not.
Holy shit! I did this a week ago and I already forgot how to do it.
Oh wait, there seems to be a right side or a left side. See how there's this?
I don't remember how to do this one. I did it with a lot of other players at the same time, so it was super easy to just follow
I mean, look
them.
at this. This has like tiny, thin metal beams that you have to jump on.
Soon I'll be 39. I'm gonna put on these 39 items I've been holding on to for like half the
Oh no!
playthrough now.
Ah, I fell. Suppose I can come this way too. Whoa! I got. What was up with the rumbling? It completely.
So we're just here for the platforming?
Yeah, this is jumping puzzles. They're fun.
There's a lot of rumbling going on, and
I
it
got
actually
distracted
will affect you in mid-jump.
people keep sending me mail about joining the guild. I'm like, I don't think I can do anything about it. I think you have to.
You can actually do something about it. Yeah, you can enter their name into the guild roster page. I found that out recently. That was a bit of a surprise.
I mean, people had a lot of time to respond with an answer during that very long conversation about whether or not there's any better way to add people. Well, I already deleted the message, so I can't add them. I don't know their name now.
Hi, guys.
Unless you can look at your outbound mail. I
went the wrong way, apparently. I feel bad now.
Oh, shit, I was here.
No, I don't think I can look at outbound mail.
Oh, yeah, I did go the wrong way. Crap.
Where am I going?
That is definitely an issue of
Look
this
at me, I
specific
can fly.
jumping challenge. I can fly, but it doesn't do me any good, because all I can do is
Now, that looks really promising. Up and over to the left.
I mean, you just flew over to that thing somehow. I think I'm at a dead end, and I can't do anything.
I mean, if you wanted to, we could actually take
Whoa, I got hit by a boulder. That's not fair.
If you wanted to, we could actually do one of these sessions where we do kind of like a quick jump ahead and get you a glider. Because
if you get it on one character, you get it on all your characters.
Yeah, it's an account unlock. Because when Path of Fire comes out, I'm going to want us to do Path of Fire so we can have mounts, so this whole thing goes faster. How the shit?
Where is the jumping challenge actually located?
Well, the thing is,
most of these paths just go nowhere and then come back to the floor.
I'm seeing paths that go all the way to the right or all the way to the left, and they're also enticing.
Yes.
Whoa!
Oh, do you see Tommy Khan up to the right now? He is specifically in the correct location.
The right?
Oh. Yeah.
That's not how directions work.
Here, I'm gonna see if I can mark him.
Well, first off...
Alt.
How do I get over
here,
there?
I've marked it on the map. It should show up as like a little blue exclamation mark.
Oh, the screen shake. Oof.
The screen shake is terrible. Yeah, how do I get up to where Keith is, for instance?
Take the pipes.
The pipes? But I was at the pipes earlier, and unless there are different set of pipes?
You have to go by the guild challenge shield. That's where you have to start. You have to go up the ledge next to that.
Ah, shit. I fell the wrong way. We do have a portal if we want to skip it, but let's not do that.
We're playing a video game to play a video game.
You want to come, up here.
Yeah, this is the first place I came to, actually.
Yep.
So it was the right path.
Yes. You just, you got to go up the thin metal girders for the most part.
I think my issue with this was, I fell. I think my issue with it was it's hard to align yourself properly on them. plus the shaking.
Turn off screen shake.
There's a lot of shaking going on.
Turn off screen shake. It's actually really useful, though. Technically, screen shake does save you from having to get hit by those boulders, because then you know when they're coming down.
Yeah, I can guess that.
There we go.
My
Goal
Moa
achieved.
is just perfect at jumping.
I got 10 imaginary points for completing a mine. Hooray!
They're not. This is actually one of those games where achievements kind of super help, because it gives you money and experience, like permanent experience boosts, by getting enough achievement points.
Whoops,
what is a permanent experience boost?
Oh, I
Like,
was so close.
I just baseline. Let me scroll down to it. I get 5% extra
It
gold,
was the
4%
shaking.
extra karma, 6% extra EXP from my various experience, from my various achievements. You also get skins, but like, you probably don't care about those.
Where are these shown?
Are you looking at the multipliers?
I opened the achievements menu and I'm trying to see. Oh, there it is. I have 17% magic find.
Yeah. I'm up to 81. Actually, really does help.
Whoa. I still dislike that shaking. Okay.
I mean, you can turn it off.
I know.
You can also skip it.
Wait, so did you guys go to the right?
Strong
figure out where
apprentice
you are.
pants.
Sorry.
I love these item names.
Oh,
Here.
it's the square things. Can I jump onto that square
Shell,
thing?
you want to get here, specifically.
Okay.
But you can actually glide, too, yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's so cheery, but it works. I'm surprised that this one actually allows you to glide.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Usually they don't.
Oh, that was so close to, like, not work. Okay, so I just need to get on the rock over there?
Yeah, well, there's one last section.
So, oh, I see. I see the spot that I'm supposed to get to. Now, there are juvenile things up here. Raven, but I think I already have ravens.
Oh, I missed. I'm getting out of here.
Oh, wait, wait.
for death by the bandits of the Kryta.
It's this, isn't it? I have to get across these.
Yeah,
this
you have to get across the dumb little metal bars. Yeah,
Okay.
they always get me.
Okay, that was shaking. That was shaking. That was bad.
Turn it off, Shell, if it's gonna be a problem.
Okay.
No, I want to hear this conversation loop 17 more times.
Sorry. I got it. I got it here. Yay! Finished. Okay. No, I'm sorry about talking about the shaking. It's just that everything was shaking.
No, the
Making
main
it hard
thing
to
was
navigate.
funny is that the exact same phrases from both of you were coming out in sequence over and over again. So you were like the NPCs in town that have the same conversation every day forever.
I mean,
Like when you walk
you're
into
not
a tavern
an NPC
in an MMO.
in town.
Whee! It's gonna hurt.
Okay,
Ow.
so we're done here?
Yep.
I caused myself pain. So we can't do the guild challenge?
Wait, why is there a squad thing?
I'm just gonna invite people. We don't have enough for it. Can I lock the first?
You couldn't figure
here
out
we
how
go.
to activate the guild challenge?
No, I couldn't figure out how to do it.
Ah. What was that? Oh. Hi.
There we go.
Nature. Being attacked by the concept of lightning now.
Oh yeah, happens.
Some kind of feedback for how I used
we
in D&D.
probably want to head back south though, because this is the level 40
This is level
area.
40 stuff.
Yeah.
I totally
might be
cheated in
okay.
D&D, by the way.
Oh.
With what?
I realized afterwards, but it was also a really fun scenario, so also who cares?
Yeah.
I
the
stacked
call lightning
concentration spells again.
Oh.
Oh, what was the other?
Surprisingly, summoning help. I'm surprised that summons count as a concentration spell. You would think
Well,
that
you
they
have to
would just
keep them up.
you would think they would just have agency since they're spirits.
Yeah, I don't know, concentration is kind of this neat thing that totally steals fun. And it makes sense because otherwise then you'd be really powerful.
It feels like something that would be super conditional, but then you've looked at your actual list of spells and you're like, wow, everything's a concentration spell.
I don't know
Basically
how I
just
want to
means
do
you
that.
can't stack anything unless
I got a
it's
black
throwing
lion
fireballs.
chest.
Yeah. Phil, why are you excited you got a black lion chest? I have like 200 of them.
Yeah.
I need a black lion chest.
I need keys. That's
every time I have a key, I don't have a chest for it.
Oh. I think you can trade them actually.
I think we can trade chests.
Yeah.
Nobody sent one to me
ever
last time I said that. Last time I said I had a key, but no chest. I just got one in the mail.
Let's see.
I just need keys.
I think I get a key every time we finish a zone, but I've gotten like no chests ever.
I haven't gotten a single key from finishing a zone. You guys have been lucky.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Hey.
So Keith, what are you up to up there? Just kind of hanging out and fighting, or?
Yeah, there's a heart.
Oh.
Well,
yeah.
we've been doing the heart. We can keep doing the heart.
I figured I would just kill stuff till I had the heart progress.
I was just holding off on it because I figured...
Hey, with the mob,
apparently everyone's
fine.
made of tissue paper despite being 5 levels higher than me.
Well, I think part of it is you're starting to actually get good equipment.
A lot of my gear is like 27. Versus level 40 enemies.
It comes and goes.
I think it's just that having a whole army of summons really just holds everyone back.
Well, yeah, you also have the lifesteal now.
No.
You don't?
No.
You don't have blood magic?
No, I don't have blood magic until I have the ability to cross-specialize.
45. Yep.
Like, I'm putting points in blood magic, but I can't actually equip it till I have the second specialization slot. So I just have the one that makes my summons stronger instead. So eventually, I think I'm more than halfway through buying all the upgrades in blood magic already, which is weird.
Do you know about the really good? Do you guys know about the not the really good? Do you guys know about the hero point up here? No, Shell, you probably don't know.
Probably not.
Okay.
I assume we have to fight something, right?
Yeah, no, it's just up in here. I always miss it when I go by.
But it's not on the map?
Yeah, it's like this secret little corner thing. I cleared this a week ago when I was playing as my thief,
odd
and I was
son,
just like...
son of someone who is odd.
Yeah, son of a man named Odd. Oh, there's actually there's a book series where the main character's name is like Odd Thomas. And he can, like, see ghosts and stuff like that. Did you ever read those, or...?
No, I watched the movie, which is one of the last things Anton Yelchin did before he died.
Huh.
He played Odd Thomas. He did it. It's on Netflix, so you can just watch it. It's totally...
Was it good?
It's totally okay.
Okay, because, like, I read the books, and the first one was actually kind of this cool thing.
It has a charming...
But it ended...
It's got, like, a good lead role for Anton Yelchin, and the characters are all likable and stuff, but like you can definitely tell without even knowing the source material that it's like, yep, this is a movie, this is a book being crushed into a 90-minute movie.
Yeah.
The plot points just kind of come and go, and like all the pacing and information is just weird.
Yeah.
We had fun. It was fine.
This is the grave of Colleen, who died.
As far as problematic translations to the screen go, it sure wasn't sure as hell wasn't a Death Note.
Or Golden Compass, probably. Did you like those books, or did you not read them?
I
Golden
didn't know.
Compass?
I didn't read them at all.
Okay. My middle school was bananas for the Golden Compass books, and I hated every minute of reading those. I
read the first one, and I have the other two, but I never finished them because the movie was so bad.
I read all of them, and it was just... I could see why people liked it, but
people liked the idea of having their own daemon spirit animal.
It was very much like...
it's just sort of like how everyone loves the houses in Harry Potter, and...
Yeah,
see.
It's scratched some kind of like primal itch that people have whenever they consume fantasy material.
I have selected a random person from chat to give 2 bags and 2 dyes to. People keep sending me bags out long after I maxed out on bags, and I'm like,
oh yeah, one of my
you
fans,
go, somebody random.
I keep sending you dyes. Have you actually been using a lot of them?
So
I consume the dyes that work, and then the ones that are duplicates I send to some random name I see in chat.
So
I'm like, here you go, Guildy.
Yeah, one of my fans, Hunt, sent me, I want to say like 20-something bags of like 20 slots. So all of my characters now have like infinite inventory space, and it is like the nicest thing
hey,
ever.
There's diving goggles here.
Oh, actually, we should probably hop in there and help the search the lake.
I can dive in style, except I haven't gotten any achievements for diving yet, so I'm sad.
At the moment, I'm at 20, 15, 15, 15, and people keep sending more 15s. I'm like, nope, we're already past that point.
Well, I mean, you could always save them for other characters if you ever... you're never going to play another character.
Yeah, and then I'd also have to make a trip to, like, a bank or something.
Yeah. No, that's understandable.
I've got enough clutter already to deal with.
And other shit. So, before we started, you were talking about how 999 was, like, going really strong despite being one of your longer-ish series recently. Yeah. I'm having that with, like, Persona. It's really bizarre. Like, for a while, Persona was, like, doing kind of bad. And then I went back and, like, looked at all the videos, and they're like, nope, they're actually getting, like, tons of views, and I was completely surprised.
So, Persona's controversial on your channel?
No, it's not controversial. It's just doing really well for being long as shit.
Oh, I thought you were drawing some kind of connection.
Nah. Dauntless is the controversial one, because it's, like, kind of a poorly made game, so I keep complaining about it. You guys, like, opened Pandora's box. Like, up until I played with you guys, yeah, there were complaints, but for the most part, it was a positive experience. And then, like, after that, like, session, I've just been cursed to have the worst experience with that game. And you just murdered fun.
We didn't murder fun. We were having fun. There was so much laughing and, like, enjoyment during that session.
I don't know.
All I've heard from Wander lately when it comes to Dauntless is just laments and frustration.
There's like because creatures will teleport, or there's
going to be another one of those multiplayer games where you get sick of it before we even have like a handful of sessions with it as a group.
Yeah.
It's like Fortnite.
It's probably one of those where I will ask you guys if you want to play it like 2 years from now when it's done properly.
People are going to be like, why did your series just stop after 4 episodes? And I'm like, well, let me sit you down for a story about how Wanderbot plays video games.
Yes. Well, I had already been playing it for 20 episodes by the time you guys even had access to the game. So.
Which is basically part of the usual story.
Well, I mean, like, Fortnite was one of those where I just played it egregiously. This was one of those where I just had it early.
I'm under attack, stop it. I'm just trying to play with the crystals. I don't even want to fight monsters, I just want to geologies. But yeah, I think 999 does well because it emotionally engages people.
Yeah.
Like on all sides. One group of people finds the commentary really funny because we're just bouncing off each other and using everything as material to talk about, because it's a game that gives you a lot of material if you like to joke around about stuff. And then the other half is like mad about all the criticisms and anything that's not taking it seriously enough and so on, which also apparently keeps them emotionally engaged because then they like hate watch constantly. So,
the idea of hate watching anything is really amusing to me.
So it leads to a situation where the series has like continually has it's been in the second place slot on my channel the entire time it's been running, and that's only because the first place slot has been consistently either Zelda or Myst, which have joined Dark Souls in like the triumvirate, like golden shelf of things that are evergreen things I can play that people will watch on this channel.
Whoa, I got launched away.
Like the only games that 999 has been losing to are Myst, Riven, and Ocarina of Time.
Myst is the only thing I have on my channel.
Like, I get so many messages. Like if I like am like half an hour late on the daily video, I get comments on random videos asking where it is, and people send me Twitter messages, and sometimes I get an email about it.
You mean like 999?
Yeah.
Stuff? Okay.
Like that's how much people look forward to it coming out every day.
Well, I think it's because games that have an interesting story people need more of. So it's like with when we were playing Night in the Woods and such. We're like, only one episode a day? That's terrible.
As far as I can tell, the Andrew experiment has been a success with that game.
The Andrew experiment?
Preemptively, I'm like, this is going to be controversial because there's always people that don't like Andrew, and there's 100 reasons why some people might not like the series, but I think it's going to be the most entertaining possible series I can do, short of like maybe being... Are you
still working on that heart down there?
No, I think I was just killing shit at some point.
Oh, okay.
I kept getting under attack.
Wait, so you're doing Night in the Woods with Andrew? You haven't played it before?
No, I've literally never mentioned Night in the Woods.
Oh.
I've never mentioned Night in the Woods in any part of this conversation.
Okay. I was just talking about it, and then you're talking about a series. Oh, so you've been playing 999 with him?
Yeah.
Then? Okay.
And I've been having a great time, but people don't like it. People don't like it when you criticize their sacred jewel. Oh, I never finished the heart over there. Crap.
Well, you know, people get defensive of their fandom.
Yeah, I have a general theory that because it's an anime fandom and because it's like a niche video game, like I think a lot of people are used to just being surrounded, like when they want to talk about it, just being surrounded by other people that also like unconditionally like everything about it, and nobody ever questions anything about it because it's like such a tiny niche bubble, and anyone who would criticize it doesn't know anything about it. So like the moment you start raising criticisms of it, like there's one chunk of the audience that's like, wow, like I never thought about any of these things. Like there's a bunch of people that like the game that follow the series because they like how we keep bringing up all these things that they never even considered, and like they're thinking about their game in a new way, even if it is oftentimes for the worst as far as judging its quality goes. And then there's other people that just like respond the way that Sonic fans respond to criticism, and they're so not happy about it.
When's Sonic Forces coming out again?
I don't know, but I can't wait.
Sonic OC Simulator. That might be the first Sonic game I actually play on my channel. Aren't you just gonna get motion
sick again?
No, actually, I don't get motion sick on any of the more recent Sonics. Just DX. Because of how bad the camera controls were.
I wonder if you get motion sickness if you played Ocarina of Time. Because that camera is the poopiest, and it's so close to you, and you spin around so fast, and like I'm like, this is old. Like I can't even criticize it. It's just old. But I'm like, this seems like a similar thing to Sonic Adventure, as like things that would really hurt you.
So according to chat, Sonic Forces is November 7th.
Yay!
That gives me some time.
Gives us plenty of time to finish Sonic Mania, which I think is only like 4 or 5 hours long. It's funny though, because like I made a video before the 999 series started, explaining in length the decision to play it with Andrew. It was just hidden away in my in my Q&A series, and like I basically predicted all of the controversies that were going to happen and all of the things about how it was going to be a series that would likely do better regardless, because of the fact that like it's more engaging and there's more to latch onto than just me playing a visual novel on my own. Because there's two benefits. One is there's a person to talk to, so there's just like constant joking back and forth and like tons of like rapport to establish, the same way that like when Bert and I start bouncing dad jokes back and forth, and then also the thing of like it's a mystery game and we can discuss the mystery with each other, whereas if you're alone, all you can do is be like, huh, I wonder if maybe this, and then then that train of thought ends because you can't talk to somebody else.
Well, the other thing, too, is maybe do people take offense to it because they thought that you were treating it with a lot of brevity and lightheartedness when it's supposed to be dire and serious? That kind of thing?
It's super contradictory and weird, honestly. Like, the game itself doesn't really decide whether it's serious or not half the time. It tries to tell really dumb jokes and then goes back to being a serious thing where people are gonna die. And it goes back and forth in like a very whiplashy sort of way. But yeah, there's definitely a portion of people that act like you're not treating this with enough reverence and how dare you and stuff like that. And to the point where they're advertising other YouTube channels that give the game proper respect in the comments and stuff like that. And I'm like,
oh yeah, that's happened on Wanders where they're like, hey, check out this channel instead.
Yep.
Yeah. I was making fun of, what was it? TerraTech. And apparently they like feature their top streamers and stuff like that. So one of their top streamers had this like god-awful thumbnail, and I was making fun of it. I was like, that just looks ridiculous, and everybody was like, he's so much better at you at this game. Like, everybody should go watch this, and I'm like,
I mean, tons of people make bad thumbnails, though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, have you seen Splattercat's thumbnails? Like, just in general?
Yeah. I'd originally considered, like, bugging him. I was like, I could do the art for you, and then I was like, wait a second. No. I shouldn't do that. Because another popular YouTuber had hired me to do artwork, and I'd, like, worked really hard on it. And
then he told you, nah.
Yeah, well, he kept doing revisions and wanting, like, more and stuff like that, and eventually
He was paying, right?
He was gonna pay me $50, and...
$50 wasn't enough.
Yeah, it was not enough, and so, like, by the end of it, I was just like, I give up. You're on your own.
I remember when my friend Max was being, like, an event organizer, and he wanted me to try to make posters promoting, like, this rave or concert or whatever, and I made, like, 3 different ones, and he used none of them, and I'm like, alright, thanks.
Yeah.
Glad I bothered helping you when you asked.
I hate it when that happens. Actually, like, Wander, you did a lot of stuff for your floor, right? And there was something that they didn't use once or changed, or I don't know.
Oh, a bunch of stuff. My freshman year, I did a lot of artwork promoting it, and I was like, okay, hey, I did all this work. Can this count for the, like, you know, major project that we're supposed to finish every year? And they're like, nope, you did that just because you wanted to. It doesn't count, wasn't technical enough. And I'm like, alright, fine. I'm just never giving you guys any of the art resources. I'll just print it off myself.
Then again, they had a bias against you because you were an art major versus a computer science one.
Some of the people were just straight up, like, kind of the equivalent of, like, education racist.
Education racist?
You know, judging you based on your major.
Yeah, if you were anything other than a tech major, you weren't a person to them, effectively.
But it was the computer science floor.
Yeah, but, like, if that's the case, don't let anybody else in.
Don't let anyone
Don't let them in, and
then
then ostracize them for the entirety of the experience.
It'd be interesting, because I'm trying to imagine someone being housed on the art floor.
Well,
then again, I wouldn't have wanted to.
The art kids were, like,
floor.
totally cool, though they had some pretty weird drama here and there. But they weren't. It wasn't the same drama. But so eventually, I just said, nope, I'm not giving you guys any more of the PSDs unless you actually give me credit for them. And they could never get around to it. So now I get emails from them once a year asking me for the PSDs for my.
Wait, they'd still ask for
yeah, they're asking for the T-shirt design so they can print it off, and I'm like, nope.
Oh, you mean the one that everyone... I was still seeing some of your friends wearing that shirt years later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it was a good shirt. I liked it a lot. But I'm not gonna...
Hand it out.
Nah. They didn't pay me for it. They kicked me out of the frat for it, so fuck them.
Wait, because of it?
No, but that was the year that I made it, and then they kicked me out of the frat. So I was like, alright, I don't care anymore.
They're not really
you
a
out
frat,
and they still try to profit off of you?
Yep.
Humans are bad at being humans.
Yeah, they are. And, like, at this point, it's completely different people.
We were having a hard time crossing the road today.
Yeah, oh yeah. We live across the street from Whole Foods, so we'll frequently walk over. And, you know, obviously, there's a walk signal, so... we hit the walk signal, it's our time to walk, we start crossing.
You really shouldn't give out information like that, though, Wander.
It's okay.
Because there's only so many of those.
You call attention to it and people will actually think about it.
Sorry.
But so we're crossing the street, and I want to say like 15 cars. We're standing like maybe 10 feet from the other side of the crosswalk in the middle of the road, and just 10, 15 cars are going in front of us. Well, we've got the walk, and they've got, you know, the don't turn sign, you know, pedestrian crossing. And every single person would look me dead in the eye with this, like, horrible fish face. You know, that kind of, like...
Fish face?
Well, like, have you ever run into a person that's giving you an intentionally impassive face because they don't want to emotionally deal with your existence? Have you ever,
They pretend you're not there.
Encountered that, or you have no idea what I'm talking about?
I mean, that's probably the face that I use when I'm going on my walks and not wanting to make eye contact with people I'm passing.
Well, that's just you wanting to be antisocial, but, like, I will look at people, and, like, there was one guy, not this time, but there was one guy once, when I was crossing the street, and I could see him, like, kind of singing to his music, and I'm trying to cross the road, and he's going fast enough that if I try and cross the road, I'm in trouble. So I'm hoping he'll either, you know, just pass me by or stop. And, you know, generally the assumption is they'll stop because I'm on a crosswalk with a light, and, you know, the decent human thing would be to, you know, slow and
Joke's
stop.
on you, roadkill.
Yeah, exactly. So I saw him, like, joyously singing, and then his face just goes, like, super blank, dead-eyed stare, just looks at me as he drives past it, like, you know...
A good clip.
At a good clip. But he, like, slowed down so that he wouldn't hit me if I decided to risk it. So it was, like, kind of extra annoying. It's like, just gun it, dude. If you're gonna be an asshole, just gun it. But so every person that passed by today just put on that, like, dead face and stared at me, trying to ignore the fact that I am trying to interrupt their
Maybe they're judging you for going to Whole Foods.
Well, I mean, some of these people were at Whole Foods, because that's the parking lot for Whole Foods.
They were coming out
well,
of.
Yeah,
so it was...
Well, like, everyone who goes to Whole Foods self-hates. They have to cull the competition.
I like it. Comparatively, it's a nicer store than any of the other grocery stores we got here.
We just like it because we can walk to it.
Yeah. And now that Amazon's
I remember
moved in, the prices are going down.
Andrew used to live across the street from it was an irritating, like, 6-lane road across from Little Caesars. So he would just brave his way across this nightmare overused road that had no crosswalks in the area, because Little Caesars was right across the street. So he'd frogger his way over, and every time I went over there for a while, his apartment just had, like, a stack, like a tower of Little Caesars boxes. That was back when he lived in Sacramento at the time for his he had a customer service job where he'd do tech support over the phone.
Speaking of, how has it been over there since there's been a lot of fires? I know it's like further south and further north, like LA.
It's north of where he
Portland.
is.
Last time I had to drive, there was a time where I had to drive for actually the day we were doing our 999 finale recording, and there was everything was just kind of Silent Hill looking on the way there.
Oh, because the sky?
All you saw was smoke, just a general haziness where it was like, the source was far enough away that the actual smoke was just spread out and even everywhere, so you couldn't really tell where it was coming from, and it was just like an even haze in every direction.
Supposedly it was a bunch of kids with firecrackers.
Yeah.
And there were witnesses and stuff like that. So,
people suck. I mean, I regularly see cars throw cigarettes out of their windows, and you see like the sparks dancing across the street, and I'm like, do you know how often that causes fires? That it just wipes out an area in the state?
I used to live in Los Alamos, New Mexico, which is like up in the mountains, and right after we moved, some asshole was camping, and instead of like actually dealing with his coals and whatnot, he just dumped them and burned down the whole town that I lived in.
Oh.
Yeah, it was gone. My childhood home I think has been rebuilt at this point, but it's not the home that it was. Yeah. And that is like a really weird feeling for me.
Whoa, I forgot there were harpies in this game.
Everyone just sucks. Like, I'm always baffled when I'm driving around and just find that, like, Oh,
the cow loves me now that I saved it.
The frequency at which you see somebody throw cigarettes out the window, or that you see, people just constantly staring down while driving, and it's like, I'm on the freeway, this is fucked up.
Oh yeah,
we're all going to die.
I was driving to not college orientation, but like a college weekend at the college I was going to go to, and there was a lady doing about 45 in a 70 zone, putting on makeup in her...
the makeup
in her, yeah, oof. That was, I mean, she was fine because there was, like, nobody around because it was, like, 7 o'clock on a Tuesday night, so it was quiet and we were in the mountains. But, like, that's scary. I'm glad I don't live in Massachusetts anymore. The drivers here are still jerks, but they're less jerks.
Well, admittedly, they're not very jerky when you're another car.
Yeah. I've noticed that people at least kind of respect the fact that, you don't try and fuck with other drivers around here.
I've only been honked at once or twice, whereas in in Boston, it was non-stop, and people were very pushy.
Yeah, in Boston, everybody's super aggressive. In New York, everybody is like... I think New York traffic is the worst I've ever experienced, personally.
New York or New York City?
New York City.
I mean, people don't even drive in New York because of the traffic.
Well, yeah, so once we were coming back from a convention, and we had to cross the
Washington Bridge.
Yeah, the like big bridge.
It had 4 lanes, but what happens is at the end of the bridge, you get your toll booths because, you know, New York loves their toll booths. And they have, you can have Easy Pass. We were driving our friend's car though, so she didn't have Easy Pass at the time, so that means we had to be in one of the 3 lanes that was dedicated to cash. However, everyone loved how fast the Easy Pass lane was going.
They would drive down to the very end and then force their way in. So like...
Actually, do you know what Easy Pass is, Keith?
I think there are toll passes in kind of everywhere.
We had to go past the toll bridge when I picked you up, I think.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
That was like the easy version.
Yeah, in the Northeast, there's this device that you can stick into the windshield of your car.
Oh, we should actually go to the southern section of the Heartbeat area.
I think that's just everywhere.
Really? Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't see them out in the Midwest.
But they're not as common. They're super common up in New York.
Are there tolls in the Midwest?
There are if you go north. Chicago area, there are a bunch of tollways.
I think that I remember seeing them last in Ohio or Illinois, but then they stopped. But yeah, so we were in the lane that was between the Easy Pass lane and the beginning of like all of the cash lanes. So people were specifically driving.
There was some asshole with like a horse trailer or something like that.
Oh gosh, he kept going back and forth and like trying to squish us.
It was awkward.
I'm gonna get you, kids.
I am really looking forward to the day when self-driving cars are just the thing.
Yes.
I don't like driving. I have not driven in over a year now, and it feels so good.
Well, that's because I have the Yaris.
Yeah.
People are so paranoid about self-driving cars, but I'm like, do you see how people drive already?
Yeah. Do you want to go drunk driving?
You
because
idiots
with
aren't
a
even
self-driving
looking at
car,
the
you
road.
can.
You can't drive anywhere without seeing several people who are not even paying attention to where they're driving.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, you think that the magic auto cars were like, out of all the testing, there's been one bad accident so far? It's like,
and it was user error. It was actually user error. The person took over and then crashed.
I think the one concern is that, someone would
I believe someone
find a way
eventually
to hack into them.
died.
Yeah, but like, that's still better than any normal car.
It's also not the final version of self-driving cars because the point is to test them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing too is, I don't know, I swear there was a movie that I saw where all of the airplanes in the nation were controlled by a supercomputer, and then the computer decided to...
Skynet.
Yeah, did Skynet do that in the
I believe
Genesis
Skynet at the end of, was it the 3rd movie?
Yeah.
It crashed like every plane and like a bunch of other stuff.
So it'd be bad if someone was able to hack into nearby cars and ruin their
That's kind of inevitable though, like no matter what, cars are going to end up with a ton of computers anyway that could potentially mess up.
They already kind of do have them. In fact, there already are cars that can self-park, which means that there's already cars that have the ability to control themselves. They just only do it for parallel parking. So that threat's already out there for people if anything's going to happen with it. I've had too many like scary moments just in the act of commuting for doing videos with Andrew. Like I've witnessed several crashes happen in the area around me, like not just like seeing somebody on the road, but like I saw the crash and I'm like, yeah, let's stop this. Everyone wants to be on their phones now, and if they want to be on their phones, they might as well get self-driving cars so that the car doesn't have to need them to crash it.
Speaking of, I guess, the intersection to Whole Foods across from
one guy just went right through a red light.
Do you ever like run into people? Well, not run into people, but like find people that will try and race the light so they can go first. So they're like you know, it's going to turn green any moment now, so I'm just going to go.
People are, like, preemptively taking their foot off the brake, and they're like, oh, I'm going to go immediately, and then, like, they miss guess, and they're like, oh, crap, and they brake again.
Well, so in this case...
Our intersection is interesting in that it has people... So there's the people go across from one street to another, and then there's the main road. And I think one side of the main road has right-of-way first, and then the other side activates. But they must have misinterpreted it as a, you know, the one cross lane goes at the same time and the other cross lane goes at the same time.
Yeah, so effectively, the walk signal goes, he's still got a red, and he just floors it across the intersection.
And everyone else is standing stock still. And if we had started walking, that would have been bad
yeah,
for us.
I probably would have gotten run over if we had actually been not chatting and not fully paying attention. And it's just like, that's scary.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hate drivers.
Hey, I drive. I drive you around everywhere.
And I hate you for every moment of it.
No. I'm the most cautious driver. Not in a bad way. I'm not the one that's, like, really slow and unable to shift lanes and whatnot, but if I am not forced to go through a yellow, I won't. I will slow down nicely and stop. People might be irate and angry. You're supposed to speed through that yellow. And like, nope, I'm not gonna.
May Lissa aid you.
Not dying is a pretty good habit.
Yeah.
And a lot of people screw it up all the time.
Yeah. I had a friend who got arrested in high school for drunk driving with 7 people in her car back from the beach.
Wait, that's not even possible unless
on
you have
her
something
learner's
massive.
permit. No, they had multiple people in the trunk.
In the trunk.
Yep.
Oh.
In the trunk or in, like, the truck bed?
It must have.
No, it was It
was probably a hatchback where people could sit up.
It was a hatchback. It was 2 smaller girls.
Okay, because I was gonna say this just sounds like a kidnapping.
No, it was. They decided to go to the beach one day. Somebody had brought vodka, I think. I was supposed to be the 8th, but I didn't go because I was like, you don't even have a license. No. And then they got arrested on the way back, and I'm like, yep,
Wonder
validation.
Was friends with the worst people back
well,
in high
that was
school.
the last time we ever spoke because they were super pissed at me for not being there.
License?
Yeah, I was the
and with too many people in the vehicle.
Yep.
Wow, that's a lot of layers of stupid, and a lot of people that had to simultaneously be stupid together.
Yeah.
Like every single one of those people had to individually be complicit in the stupid on their own.
Because, I mean, they were fine. They didn't crash,
reached levels of exponential stupidity.
It was actually interesting. My uncle had one of those old station wagons where you would pull up seats that were tucked into the trunk, and you'd be riding backwards. But you had seatbelts and everything.
I always liked those because it was kind of a neat view going backwards in a car.
It was weird.
Until I realized somebody rear ends us. I'm fucked.
I used to get picked up from school by like a daycare service that was run by another, the parent of another student my age, and as kids, like it was always amusing because she would like swerve and stuff like that while we were in the back. We were in like the back of the car, in one of those like rear-facing seat areas. We'd like take off our seatbelts and she'd be like swerving all around, and we'd be like sort of like tumbling around in the car. And in hindsight, I'm like, wow, this is a really terrible, irresponsible way to run your whole like I'm taking care of other people's kids thing. Whoops. Things you don't question about what adults do until you're also an adult and you're like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
This is an interesting thing, but when I was a child, I had an irrational fear of crumbs in the car seat.
I mean, that is a legit fear. They are the most disgusting thing to accidentally find when you put your hand down in a seat.
Oh, I know, but the funny thing is I don't see that anymore.
Like, do you ever like have to, if you ever get in somebody else's car and you have to like find the seatbelt in the back seat because like you're sitting in the middle or it's like disappeared and you like you have to like reach around in there and it's just the worst thing.
That's always the weird paradox thing, is like other people's living spaces and belongings in cars always feel way more dirty than yours do, even though they're probably not actually in many cases dirtier than yours.
Oh hey, but if there are a ton of visible crumbs.
People are often just kind of just grow complicit with their own stuff and don't notice it anymore.
Oh yeah.
For me, it's hairballs. I probably leave too many hairballs everywhere.
At this point, I threaten her to vacuum. It doesn't work.
Hey, we haven't had the time to.
At this point, I've just accepted that the carpet is extra fuzzy.
I do not.
When we used.
How do I get to that Vista point?
The one in the kind of metal city? You have to go up here. And then you go around. Oh wait, no you don't.
Up the tower.
Yeah, it's up the tower. It's just over here. Unless it's a different vista. I always think this is a different one.
What are you talking about right now?
Up this tower.
I guess you might also be in a completely different location.
No, I'm not even vaguely close to you right now.
Okay, where are you?
I was like, what sign am I supposed to be getting from what you're saying right now?
Oh,
let's see.
You went all the way back there.
Oh yeah, I've been nowhere near you guys this entire session.
Fair enough.
I've literally just been running to the nearest heart and just doing stuff over and over again. And ended up in a completely different location.
When we hit Path of Fire, we should probably stick together, but this is definitely more efficient.
Well, I hear in...
I have no idea how to get... I don't even see a path to get to this one.
Oh, you're that one? So, here, I'll mark it. I know exactly where it is. It starts over here. Oh. It's marked on the map for you. It should be the, like, blue star thing.
Blue star? No.
Yeah, oh. It might be because we're in a squad, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, we...
Yeah, I can't see
you want to go
anything
from the western side. Just keep heading west, and there will be kind of like a ridge that leads up there. It's actually super, super easy to get all the way up.
Oh, yeah, this is the ogre area.
Yeah.
Yeah, aside from the jumping thing, we were never really doing the same action at the same time at any point today, and I never really wanted to cancel what I was doing midstream to switch to whatever you were doing, so I just kind of just kept going.
That's kind of understandable.
I suppose
this is one of those games where you don't actually have to, like, kind of keep track as long as we all finish the area.
Oh, is this the one where you have to do the
co-op
specific
really just
event?
gets killed by the fact that that party stuff isn't shared.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really bizarre choice that I've never seen in an MMO before. Where, like, if you're in a party together and something happens, you don't get credit for it unless you did it. Which basically means you're not in a party? But then paradoxically, the hero challenges do... I mean, not the hero challenges, well, also those, but, just all of the events do work that way. Which is just all the more confusing.
Well done.
Has Shell ever gotten her car embedded? You've seen her on Parking Wars. Nope.
Wait, what about this?
Shell has never been in trouble with the law once.
Wait, what about cars and...
Plow thinks, he's seen you on Parking Wars, which is not true.
Parking Wars? What's that?
I don't know.
I don't know. Honestly, you can just make up shows now and I'll believe you.
Yeah, reality TV has just gotten stupid.
It kind of always was. It definitely got extra fake now, though.
Yeah,
I haven't seen a real-looking reality show in a long time.
That's because it's hard to come up with original material. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the, like, original, like, Pawn Stars or whatever, some of those might have been legit, like the ones that the actual Pawn Stars are based on. But then actual Pawn Stars came out and was more popular because they editorialized it. And then it became fake as shit because they ran out of material to base it on.
I do not like
all the people coming in are fake. They find people and like they essentially like scout people to come in with stuff to show on the show, and then they have like their fake experts that come in and like, yeah, I'm going to explain the reason why this thing's valuable. And while the host is pretending to not know, but the real reason is they of course already know because they scouted that person to come on the show in the first place, so they already know everything about it, and they just call the other person in for dramatic effect / time-wasting padding on the show. And then they have the backroom stuff where everyone's like talking to each other, like, I'm the useless idiot, and I'm the old man, and I'm the kid that represents millennials, and we're gonna have the same conversation every episode, basically. That just
straw man characters are really boring.
Yeah. There are 3 archetypes that just all they do is reinforce their character stereotype every single episode over and over again. We're like, I'm the idiot millennial, I'm the old guy, and I'm the guy that runs this place, and they just say the same things.
It almost just feels like what was the Duck family called?
Duck Dynasty?
Duck Dynasty.
Yeah, I almost feel like they're the ones that started that, but I'm sure it started before them.
Been around for a while.
I really don't like shows that just feature a family, like Duck Dynasty or the Duggars or the Kardashians or the Octomom or, like, come on. And actually, aren't the Kardashians only as famous as they are because of their father being a lawyer for O.J. Simpson?
Oh, yeah.
Stuff?
Yeah. No, the Kardashians were kind of a weird social media experiment at first, where they're like, how famous can we get with nothing? And the answer is very. And then it just became real.
I mean, the mom's famous for basically just being a genius at, like, knowing exactly how to take advantage of every single chance they had to become more famous.
Yeah.
And just really, like, nailed it every step of the way.
Yeah. A lot of people are like that. Taylor Swift is, like, the most artificial music you can possibly go with, and worked really well. I mean, she has skill, but
at this point,
she was an invented creation, I guess.